Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday. I think it's day 6, but I could be confused right now. Anyways, lots of things happening. I hope you're all keeping the faith. And I thought it would be fun to try to promote other people. So today, this recording is brought to you by It's All About Me over in Hamden. Diane owns It's All About Me, and it's a fabulous place to shop. And the people are wonderful over there. Even the clientele are wonderful. So every day I'm going to bring this to you by somebody I can think of that's a client that I promote their services, because that's what it's about for all of us. And when all this is over, it's all the little places that we are really going to have to pay attention to, because we want to support people that are owning small businesses. So one of the things I wanted to tell you is I did start a prayer list for everybody that owns their own businesses, and of course in general for people that have, are worried about their jobs and all of that. Of course, that's a given. But for people that own their own businesses, the restaurants that are out there, the clothing stores, the people working from home with their own businesses. And each day I'm going to say a little bit something, as long as I can keep it going. But as I think of people, I'm putting them on the prayer list for their businesses. So it's to give you an idea that if some of these places you've never heard of, it's a shout out to them to promote these people, and they are in the light with us. So just so you know, you might hear scratching in the background. That would be Ben trying to come in here, but we're due for the mailman, and you all saw what happened the other day. So I'm not trusting it, so he's locked out, just in case you don't think it's some person locked in the closet scratching at the door or something. It's Ben. Okay. Wanted to tell you, we talked a little bit about it the other day, printing a map from the internet of the world and writing on it all its peoples, all its creatures, all nature kingdom. And of course, I got my big chunk of rose quartz for healing. So I'm praying over this every day. And what I'm doing is, as I pray, I'm sending energy out to whoever needs it. And also with this, when I'm not doing it, rose quartz, my intention is to hold the light and the healing and the love. And then I put it on here so it continues to send it out remotely of, the healing and love and prayers. Okay. So I wanted to remind you of that. Candles. Keep the fires burning. I have different candles going all over the place, and I feel that throughout this whole process, I'm keeping candles going. Now, because I used to have a store, I have a lot of candles, but you may not. But just, even if it's for an hour a day with what you have, whatever color, whatever, burn it, and just allow that energy to go out. I'm using Manifest a Miracle here because we sure need one. Before I forget, I also want to do a shout out to everybody, whether they're first responders, whether they're nurses, whether they're techs, lab techs, doctors, any kind of assistants, the people working in the grocery stores, the firemen, the police, and everybody else and anybody else that I've forgotten. Don't forget about what they're doing. We have a couple of kids in healthcare, and so I just want to say thank you to all of them and everything that goes out. And so I want to say something good here, because so many times people have things against different places or hospitals or whatever. And my daughter works at, one of the places she works at is the walk-in clinic over on Allen Street. And a shout out for that doctor who owns that practice, because he's been going outside to meet people that had any symptoms and not going near any of the girls inside, because he doesn't want to infect them in case somebody comes in with that. So people are calling on the phone, giving the information about, their insurance or whatever, and then he goes out to their car and sees them. I just think that that's amazing. And so these are the unsung heroes, as we say, of all of this. And, there are wonderful people in this world. And unfortunately, in our hurriedness of everything we're doing along the way, we forget sometimes. So just a shout out for all the people that are doing anything to help. And that includes all of you, by staying home, or if you have a neighbor that you're checking on, a shout out to all of you for doing that. Okay. A thing I wanted to tell you about, I had sent a blog out yesterday, and when I realized which blog it was, I kind of felt bad. And because I do these blogs a few at a time, and then they go out when they go out. And this one was about, moving on. And I didn't want people to think I was being insensitive about moving on. So I just wanted to clarify that was written before all of this. And so, I didn't know what would be coming. And it was talking about, getting out there, making your businesses happen and all that. Well, we can still do that from home, planning and all of that. But I just felt like I needed to say that. A while ago, maybe a month ago now, I spoke about how Gerard and I were in Sedona, and I talked to you about this picture. And if you didn't see the blog, let me just tell you that there's a very sacred site called Cathedral Rock, which is the divine feminine energy, and we went there because there's a tree there that is so magical that I love. It is looks like a Harry Potter tree, and it's just got so much beautiful energy. I could hang out there all day. Well, I felt a bunch of energy, and I said to Gerard, take a picture of me at this tree. Now, the picture, I'm not smiling or anything. I just stood there because I felt the energy. Wait till you see this picture. I spoke about it, and we haven't had time to get it on the website yet because my web guy was in Hawaii and just got home. But I thought, people keep texting me. I'm going to show you what the pictures look like, and hopefully you can see them well through this. So the first picture that was taken, mind you, I am standing in the dirt. So if you can see, I hope there's not a big flash on this. But if you can see that below, here and here, it looks like I'm standing on plexiglass. It's amazing. Well, if you want to see something even more amazing, look at this one. Below me, you will see it looks like one of those Christmas tree bulbs. And when you blow it up, it actually looks like it's got a flame inside of this. And when you're able to pull the picture all the way up, this part here, which is the same as the one on this picture, underneath it has a white pyramid. And there's a big orb over my head. So I'm trying to get it so that it doesn't reflect off here, but I hope you can see it. There's a huge orb over my head. And so Spirit was really showing me, hey, we're here for you. And this is physical proof that they are here for us. So I thought I'd show you that, because right now we have to keep believing, right? We have to be in a place that says, you know what? This is truly a time of miracles, and you're going to see it. So this to me was a miracle, and showing me that yes, Spirit indeed shows up for me, and Spirit is there, and it's amazing. So just wanted to show you that. I wanted to thank Christine for doing an excellent job with the restorative yoga yesterday. And I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to start bringing in a few people here and there to do different parts of this, because it's body, mind, and spirit. And so I thought that would be great for people confined at home, and you want to do the yoga every day. You can look at it every day and feel like you're in the middle of a studio. And then tomorrow I have Michelle Crean, who is a personal trainer. She's going to be doing some things with floor exercises and I think some stretching, but making it more for everyone, not for just people that can really stretch themselves, no pun intended, and do a lot of physical work. This is her trying to help us find what we can do to keep our physical bodies moving under these conditions. So you have these things to look forward to. I'm going to definitely be on a lot more, but I wanted to bring you some different things. So I hope you enjoy this. Also, there was something else. What was I going to talk about? Oh, I've been getting a lot of really good feedback about the tapping. So I will be coming back on to do more tapping, as we continue. Today, I thought we would do something around cord cutting. And this is something anybody can do. And so what I do is I call in Archangel Michael and the Legions of Light. And Michael, as we know, and I will always have Michael on my table here, Michael with the sword of truth, cutting through the illusion. And I have it for two reasons here, because it's also about cutting through the illusion of what's real and what isn't. We've heard for a long time about fake news and how things get exaggerated, and not to imply that this isn't real, but to what degree. So the sword is here as a way to cut through any of our illusionary things, maybe thinking, oh, I'll never get this flu. That's maybe an illusion. Whatever it is, that we have to take our precautions and proceed with caution. So cutting the cords, Archangel Michael and Legions of Light, I call them in, and then I start with my chakras, starting at the base of my spine, or the first chakra. So we can do this together. I call in Archangel Michael and the Legions of Light to come into my first chakra, and I close my eyes and I kind of visualize that's at the base of my spine, and it's on both sides. So I visualize that, and I ask him to come in and cut the cords of anybody who's attached to my first energy center. So what is going to be the benefit of this? That you will feel lighter, that you won't have attachments to you, that you won't feel like everybody's pulling you down. Now, usually the first thing people ask me when I'm doing this is, what about my husband? What about my kids? It doesn't break positive connections. It only breaks connections that you may not even be aware, and how do people connect these energetic cords to us? They do. They want a piece of you. They like you, and they want more of your energy, and they connect, whatever it is. And sometimes people don't even realize that's what's happening. So I want you to remember that. And this is a good practice to do once a week, at least. Cut the cords. And then we'll get to the importance of filling your body, your whole body, with light after, because where you cut away, we don't want to leave an empty hole there for other things to come in. So back to the first energy center. So I'm going to ask you to just close your eyes down for a moment, call in Archangel Michael and the Legions of Light, and we ask you to cut the cords, any cords of anyone who's attached to your first energy center or chakra. And imagine that he comes in with his blue flame sword and cuts it away. Good. And anybody that you may have attached to their first energy center, it works both ways. Unbeknownst to you, might not even remember, but we're cutting away. So we're cutting away any cords of anybody that we've attached to. And now this is an important part. I ask that they be filled with their own light. You don't have to know who it is, where they are, whatever. Whoever is, you're just telling them. You want them filled with their own spirit light. And then you say, and I'm filled with my own light. And because we're doing the root chakra, the color is red. So when you see yourself being filled there, you see this vibrant red. I always see it like a liquid light going in and just filling up that area. And just give it a minute. And this is bringing in that beautiful life force energy. And then we go to the second chakra, which is just below our navel. And you can even put your hands there. And then you're going to ask that anybody that has cords attached to you, that Archangel Michael comes in and cuts the cords, the front of you and the back of you. And anybody that you're attached to their second energy center, we are going to cut the cords. And then we're going to ask that all of those people be filled with their own light. And now we're going to fill us with our own light. And sometimes I put my hand on the back side, one in the front, one in the back. And so the color is orange, filling us up with that beautiful orange, bright orange, good light. Then we come up to the third, which is right over the rib area and everything. And this is the solar plexus. You can do one in the front, one in the back. And you're asking Archangel Michael to come in and cut away any cords of anybody who's attached to you in this area. And then anybody that you've attached to in the third energy center on them, we're going to cut away the cords. We are going to ask that they be filled with their own light. And we're going to imagine the sun going in our belly here, bright yellow, coming in and filling us to fill all those empty spaces, front and the back. And this one is such an important one because this is our power center. So we really want to make sure we have that yellow light as if we're doing it and filling it up. I know one of my friends who I haven't seen in a while, that's a shaman, told me that always put the sun in your belly. Okay, and then we're going up to the heart. And I always put both hands over my heart because this is such a big one, especially for me. Everybody's always attaching to my heart and I have to constantly check it out and clear it out. Because what you will find is that after a while, some of these chakras, you'll feel like, oh my God, it feels like a tree trunk Michael's cutting through. So let's go to our hearts. And as we are in the heart energy, the front and the back of the heart, anybody that's attached to my heart, Archangel Michael, cut the cords. The front of the heart and the back of the heart. Anybody that I'm attached to their heart, cut the cords. And we're going to ask that they be filled with their own light. And we're going to fill this up with green, the front and the back of our heart with this beautiful green light. Green is so healing. Some people use pink in this area. You're welcome to use whatever you want, or green and then the pink. I like to stay there a little extra time. Now we're up to the throat, and we're doing the front and the back of the throat. And we call in Archangel Michael to cut away any cords that are attached to our throat, the front and the back. And we ask that they be filled with their own light. And we're going to fill our throat area completely with the blue light. The throat's so important because it has to do with speaking our truth. It also has to do with life purpose. So we want to just take an extra minute here. Good. Now we're going up to the third eye area, right up here. And we're going to see all the cords. Archangel Michael, cut all the cords of anybody who's attached to me here. And anybody that I may be attached to their sixth energy center here, the third eye. And ask that they all be filled with their own light. And we are going to see ourselves being filled with indigo color light. Good. And one more, the last one, the top of the crown. You just put your hand right over it, lay it on your head. Ask Archangel Michael to come in and cut away any cords of anybody that's attached to my crown that keeps me from my connection with the divine. We're cutting away all those cords, and we're asking them to be all filled with their own light. And also, if I'm attached to anybody's crown, I'm going to cut the cords and fill them with their light and me with mine. The color is violet here, the highest color of all. Nothing can live in violet but the highest order. So we're going to see our whole head, top of our head, being filled with the violet light of Saint Germain. And then before we thank Archangel Michael and his legions, we're going to see our whole body. I just close my eyes and I ask every cell in my body filling with light. And I always use white, and then I put gold on top of it to kind of seal it in. And then see it going out around you into your aura. And that's it. So we want to thank Archangel Michael and his legions of light for decording us and helping us. And you will feel lighter, especially to those places. Like me, it's always my heart, people plugging in. So you will feel lighter, and it's a good thing. You can do it in the shower. A lot of times at the end of the day, for those of you that do energy work with others, or readings even, this is a great way to add another layer on, that you're in the shower at night and you're just seeing the shower and the water washing over you, and it takes all of 5 minutes to cut in normally the way we do it. You just move, move, move. And if you're doing it on a regular basis, it's so much, more powerful. Okay, so I wanted to talk about just totally left my mind. I want to say blogging, that's not what I mean, bucket list. I wanted to talk about bucket list. So when, we always talk about the bucket list that we're going to take up this whatever, and we're going to travel to this place and doing this. And I was thinking last night, for some reason, bucket list popped into my head when I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today. And think of how we can still accomplish some of those things while we're in shutdown here. And even though we're supposed to be, I believe, in shutdown as a way to really rebalance and meditate and pray and all of that, there is a certain amount of time a day you have to do something because things are starting to get to you. So what I want to say is I'm starting to make a list today because I've been very busy with phone sessions, and starting today it's slowing down a little bit. So I'm actually looking forward to this, and I'm making two lists. One of some of the things that I absolutely have to get to, and then the other list is, I've always wanted to do this, and I'm going to start doing it. So as an example, here's something probably many of you don't know about me, that I've always wanted to learn Spanish. And I love the Latin culture, and I'm just so drawn to it. I love the music, as you know, all my Zumba stuff. And we travel to those countries, Puerto Rico, Mexico, all of that. And I've always wanted to learn Spanish. So they offer it online. And so guess what? I'm going to start doing that. They also have salsa lessons or whatever you're into online. And a lot of people in our own community are doing classes online, which I think are so fabulous. So make a list of what you've always wanted to do. If you've always wanted to paint that room, maybe you can do it during this time. If you've always wanted to study something, I've been reposting a lot on my Facebook page because there's so much good information in terms of the New York Public Library, 300,000 books, and they're willing to download them for free, whatever book you want. So that's great. And then the zoos, I'm not a big zoo fan because I don't like the animals being locked up. But anyways, although mine's locked out right now. But, looking at some of these Broadway plays, different things. I saw there was a something yesterday about Yale, and Yale having their most popular course, how to live how to live a better life or a happier life. And it's been going since 2018, and it's sold out all the time. He's offering it online. So if you want that information, you can't find it, you can go to Brenda Edwards Coach and find it there because I've reposted it. The other thing I wanted to say is that this is really a time where we really have to pull together. And I love some of the things that have been coming through Facebook, even though we know Facebook can be a pain in the neck. Sometimes it's wonderful. Julia Roberts did something that I reposted where she's speaking for Mother Earth, and it was beautiful. And, we have to remember this. And there was a prayer that came through, or something that came through that somebody sent me to Facebook. And again, I reposted that. And it was as if the virus could have words, what it would say to us. And it's very much like the message of the indigenous grandmothers, the 13, where they're telling us, you've done this to the earth, and now you need to sit and, really start to make some changes. And so that's where we need to be. But if you get a chance to read that, it's beautiful. Talking about how we've scorched the lungs of earth in terms of with the fires and everything, and what we do to one, we do to all. So we have to take responsibility of our own personal responsibility of how we treat Gaia, Mother Earth. And this is a wonderful time to extend it out to the four-leggeds and the two-leggeds and the animal kingdom and the nature kingdom and everything that is a part of us that we feel we're so above. So keep up with your prayers, keep up with the wonderful things you've been doing to support one another. We will get through this, and we will hang tough, because as spirit beings, that's who we are, and we have to live by example. One thing I forgot to do is grab a deck. I wanted to pull a card to end with, so I'm going to get a deck right now. Sorry, it took me another minute because I wanted to get a particular deck. And this is by Yasmin Boland. So, Spirit, what would you like us to know today as a group? What would you like us to know? And this is a deck about moon cycles, but the artwork is beautiful, and the artwork is by, I don't know how to say the name, NYX Rowan. And this is beautiful. It says, luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. So that is amazing. Let's see what it means. This light is so bright I can hardly read. I got spots in front of my eyes. Okay. All right, here it is. Whatever is coming your way, it looks set to put a smile on your face. The new moon in Sagittarius can mark the restart of fun after a period of feeling low. The energy is adventurous and even willing to take a few risks. But be careful you don't bet the farm on something here, as the Wheel of Fortune is still spinning. This card is about exploring life metaphorically by exchanging big ideas with others or just thinking about your own philosophies. Perhaps it's time to change your mind about something important. It can also signal that a trip away is coming up, if that's something you're working to achieve. But the overall message of this card is that whatever happens next will be a gift to you, even if that simply means widening your world view. And there was something I wanted to comment. Oh, as the Wheel of Fortune is still spinning. So to me, that just says something will come out of this that's wonderful. Even though we have to go through these inconveniences and everything, this is actually wonderful. And, you know, the end result of caring for one another better, you know, the earth and everything else. But it's saying the wheel is still spinning. So the wheel goes in both directions. So we have to remember that and recognize that we hold the key to what the outcome is going to be as a collective consciousness. So we have to accept that, and we really have to make all our action steps that we take aligned with what we want our outcome to be. So I will leave you with that, my friends. Tomorrow you have Michelle doing some exercises, and I hope you're taking advantage of all of this. And I'm going to ask you once again, spread this to people. So you may never know how it's what somebody needs in that moment that you're helping them with, and by keeping a positive message there. So thank you, love to you all, and we're going to do it. Love you.